It is late May 2026, and here we are talking about air conditioning scams. And there's a scam going around. It went around last year, and maybe even the year before, called BreezaMax. Qinux BreezaMax. This is something that claims with YouTube ads or maybe other advertising on Facebook or Instagram, you probably saw this, that there is a special air conditioner, and these two guys figure it out. It's going to be amazing. And NASA had something to do with it and whatever. And the thing about this is, I'll tell you right at the top so you don't have to watch the whole video, although I'd love you to. Hit the like button, by the way, to help this video get out there to help save people from what is a scam. This is basically an air cooler, like a fan sort of a thing. The reason why it's so cheap is because to get an actual air conditioner, you have to pay money. So whenever you see something like this with a bunch of fancy marketing for Qinux BreezaMax and it seems amazing, it is not going to be amazing. It is not going to cool down your house in a certain amount of time. And I will now tell you about the YouTube video ad that I saw that talks about this and lies throughout the entire 3-minute ad. And so here's what that ad said. So if you're looking around for Qinux BreezaMax reviews, the review is this is a scam. This is not something that's going to help cool down your house. In order to cool down your house or a room or whatever, you have to buy an air conditioner, and those are not always cheap, of course. If you're spending less than $100, you're not going to get something that's worth it, unfortunately. So here's what the ad says, and I'm quoting here. It takes 90 seconds for this NASA-engineered AC to cool down your room. It's smaller than a toaster, cools any room in 90 seconds, and uses just a fraction of the energy of a regular AC. This incredible invention was built by two engineers, Thomas Berger and Leo Garcia, who used to work on thermal control systems for NASA space missions. They were tired of seeing people struggle every summer with broken ACs, $300 power bills, and unbearable indoor heat. And when a power outage during a heat wave left their family sweltering with temperatures soaring past 90 degrees, they decided to take matters into their own hands and create a groundbreaking portable AC capable of cooling down any room in a matter of minutes without the big costs. The two engineers, Thomas Berger and Leo Garcia, knew that traditional air conditioners were inefficient and expensive to use, so they reverse engineered how traditional ACs waste energy and then applied the same thermal control principles they once used to regulate temperatures in satellites and space shuttles to build a compact, ultra-efficient cooling device for everyday people. The result? The ingenious invention that's capable of cooling down any room instantly without big costs. And now it's shaking up the $5 billion AC industry and helping families all over the country. And so I'll stop there for a second. That's the classic, the big pharma industry, big oil, big energy, whatever. Oh, they're really getting mad. They're trying to shut this down. You should buy it quick, limited quantities. And they're lying to you. Again, in order to get air conditioning that actually is effective, you have to pay money. I mean, there is nothing that I know of that is amazing. What this is, these products that you see, like Qinux BreezaMax, are available for very, very cheap on other websites under other names. Qinux BreezaMax is the rebranded name for a very cheap product that does not cool a room down in 90 seconds, or your house. This is something where scammers are taking a very cheap product, maybe manufactured in China or somewhere else, that's sold for very, very cheap, $10, $20, $30, whatever. They're jacking the price up, attaching a bunch of fancy marketing to it, like this video, and a bunch of other stuff like the ad and a bunch of branding and websites, and it has no legitimacy whatsoever. They're just trying to convince you with a bunch of complex marketing, interesting marketing, like a big deluxe marketing setup, that you should buy this and you should not buy this. I will now continue with the ad here. It says, instead of relying on Freon, bulky compressors, or massive energy draw, the engineers created a patented NASA-inspired airflow acceleration system that pulls in surrounding hot air, rapidly cools it, and blasts out a steady stream of refreshing, cool air. The first time they tested it, the temperature dropped from 93 degrees Fahrenheit to 63 degrees Fahrenheit in another 2 minutes. And that's how BreezaMax was born. Experts agree it's just as effective as a traditional AC, but it uses up to 90% less power. Lies, lies, lies. This is something where if you purchase it, you're going to be wasting a lot of money. You're not going to get the cool down room that you want. And I'm assuming you're not going to be able to get your money back very easily, potentially, if you go through a scam funnel that lies to you. Money back guarantees maybe won't be honored, as is tradition with online scams. They want your money. They're going to make it difficult to contact them. Maybe they'll offer you 50% back as a refund, which means they still get money for doing nothing for you, which doesn't make any sense at all. I'll now continue with the ad. It's whisper quiet, weighs under 2 pounds, and runs for hours on minimal electricity. Perfect for bedrooms, living rooms, RVs, offices, even outdoor spaces. Major appliance brands tried to buy the tech, but the engineers refused, fearing price hikes and limited access. Instead, they teamed up with a group of independent engineers. And I know you can't see my screen this video, but I am curious if I do a reverse image search, meaning I'm looking for the same clip of the two men who are supposedly Thomas Berger and the other guy. I'm assuming that if I do that, I can find that clip on a stock video website, because it looks like stock video of two guys with glasses discussing technology or plans or construction or something. And I found it. It's on Shutterstock. It is called Two Senior Engineers Discussing Technical Details. Hilarious. I mean, like clockwork. It's so easy to see exactly what's going on here. And so I'll continue with the video now. They launch it directly to consumers at a fraction of the price. BreezaMax takes just 30 seconds to set up. No tools, no installation. Just plug it in, press the button, and enjoy instant cooling. It's portable, powerful, and far more affordable than traditional ACs. And the timing couldn't be better with heat waves getting worse every year. People across the country are turning to BreezaMax for a safer, smarter cooling solution. Right now, it's being offered at a massive 50% discount to spread the word. But inventory is tight and selling fast. Ooh. So if you're tired of sweating through this heat, tap the button or scan the QR code to claim your 50% discount on BreezaMax before they're gone. And of course, the 50% off offer is the standard price. They're never going to be like, you have to pay the full price, because then they wouldn't receive as many sales. This is the classic thing where they claim there's a sale, but there really isn't a sale. That's what it seems like. And so that ad, by the way, that video on YouTube, which is unlisted, has 122 million views, almost. It has 121 million something, which is insane. That will then take you to the website breezamaxau.com. I guess AU for Australia. I don't know. It says on that website, it has like a fake article, the $89 device that's making $400 air conditioners pointless. It talks about Thomas Berger and someone else. And of course, they look completely different in the photos for whatever reason than in the video. And it talks all about, it's got AI images of the people supposedly who created it. And it's got images of the device, which looks like it either plugs in with USB or is battery operated, which you're not going to get quality air cooling, air temperature, or air conditioning with like a USB plug-in sort of a thing or a battery operated thing ever, unless you live in a closet, right? Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And there's a stock alert. They're low in stock, and check availability. And the purchase page is on buyqinux.com, BYQINUX.com. And just know this, sometimes these sorts of products come with a subscription charge that maybe is not completely obvious. I'm not saying that's going to happen here. I'm not saying that at all. But I am saying that sometimes happens in these sorts of cases. And so I'll just search real quick. The subscriptions is mentioned on one page, but it might just be generic. So if you fell for this and then you are charged money that you did not know about, and then 30 days later you hit with the same charge, maybe that's what's going on here. This happens with a lot of different scams about, memberships, subscriptions, whatever. So I hope that my video has been helpful to you. Looks like this is coming from Hong Kong when I go and look at the return address. Big surprise. So if you have to buy an air conditioner, an air cooler is not going to get the job done, especially if you live in a very hot city during the summer. Like, comment, subscribe. The Qinux BreezaMax is something you should not buy. It is not going to do what the marketing says. Whether the marketing is coming from the people behind the product or not, don't buy this. It does not have the quality that you want. It is a very cheap product that's been rebranded with a new name, fancy marketing to make you be like, oh, I guess I'll pull out my credit card. Don't do it. If you did, try to get your money back, fight for your money back, call your credit card company, see what you can do. And like, comment, subscribe. The join button is down below. Thank you for watching.